I have to admit I wasn't wildly enthusiastic about this project at first. It was my wife's idea. We've got a 2-year-old, and it's nice to be able to close the gate and not have to be on pins and needles, wondering if she's going to wander out into the road. You know, you got people driving by here at 50 miles an hour, even though it's a 25. So working with my son, though, my 6-year-old, that made this project so much more rewarding. And so without further ado, this is our fence gate project. Oh, you can help me with it. Leverage in action, buddy. I had a lot more fun with this project than I think I would have because my bestest good buddy was out there with me. He had this childlike fascination with the entire process that was just a joy to witness. I can't help but notice that I'm doing all the work now suddenly.
Help!
I am going.
Get that out and I'll stomp on that, see if you can. Hey, you need real shoes though, buddy. Go get some real shoes on, please.
Okay.
You're just not heavy enough.
Yeah, there we go.
All right, hop off. Again.
Yeah. Yeah.
Double the amount of work. That's our motto. Go ahead, jump on there.
Got it.
All right. Man, it's hot out here.
Yeah, man, it's hot out here.
What are you doing? Get up there. Being an idiot is hard work. Trust me on that one. All right, now we're gonna scoop out stuff. Luckily, the cord that I'm about to cut wasn't to anything that we still use. I have no idea what it was. Probably old satellite or something. There's a 3-digit number you're supposed to call before you dig, but I thought it's just 2 small holes. What could possibly go wrong? Uh-oh.
What?
There's a cord. Oh, crap.
What?
There's a buried cord. I think I just cut our internet. Of course! Can you bring a wheelbarrow over here?
Yeah.
This is what happens when you send your wife to do man's work.
Done.
Oh, there it is. Just kidding.
Done.
Hurry up!
Well, it was like all the way in the back corner, so I walked around the wrong way.
So it was like 20 feet more than you expected?
Around the other way.
My apologies.
It might have been on the other side of the ship.
Every time this thing flips.
That's because your opening for your giant head is too big.
Poppy,
What?
did you know?
No? Yes? Maybe?
When I went
The
over.
question is, did I care? That's the real question.
So I went when you
The
were.
answer is no, I did not.
You were pooping,
And guess what? I still don't know. I was pooping, huh?
and then.
This goes on for quite a while because there's a clay layer that was particularly challenging to get through. All right, fill it back in.
Fill what back in?
The hole. We'll plant you there. Maybe you'll grow into a bigger and better boy. Just kidding. You're perfect the way you are.
Okay, well, how we get the dirt out of our hands?
That is what we call a dumb question. What's the definition of a dumb question, Sam?
A question I already know the answer to.
Uh-huh. So why don't you answer that question?
Wash your hands.
Oh!
Maybe you can do that in front of Mark.
What kind of silly question was that? Why'd you even ask that? Did you just try to push me in the hole?
No. I push you in my butt.
Oh. Excuse me, sir.
If any infer.
You may be wondering why I have flowers and butterflies on my pants. The answer is because I have a sarcastic daughter. I made the mistake of asking her if she would mend some of the holes in my work pants. I was wondering why it was taking her so long. What am I going to do, not wear them? They're my favorite work pants. We dug these holes about 2 feet deep, So I wanted about 4.5 feet of the post to be above the ground. So that means I cut the 8-foot post to 6.5 feet.
Yay! Now we're ready to put it in.
The ideal would be to put that, what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to put the post in the center of the hole, but I don't have that kind of room. I needed to get this post, geez, this thing is dull. I need to get the post moved over as close to the fence as I could get it, and so that kind of precludes me sticking that post in the center. I'm gonna try not to create so much dust this time. Jeez.
What?
Just that it needs so much concrete. I'm on my last bag. I guess we'll see, huh? I thought there's no way we're gonna need more than 3 bags of concrete. Boy, was I wrong. There's formulas that you can use to determine. But I'm way too. I don't have time for that.
Stop it.
This instant concrete is amazing stuff. You don't have to mix it. You just have to pour some water in the hole, like about 1/3 up, and then you fill the rest with the concrete, and the mix soaks up the water, and it just kind of mixes itself. It's perfect. It's not absolutely necessary, but I dressed the top of these just for a little decorative touch there. The way you do it is you just set your skill saw at about 30 degrees. I went 2 inches in from the edge, or from the end. Mark that around, and then just cut along that line with a 30-degree angle. And then you get, this is the remainder here. I got the posts set here now, where they're supposed to be. I'll measure the distance here between the posts and divide in half. 142 3/4 divided by 2. I want to make one gate first so that I can reference off that gate for the second gate. And I'll do 4 feet here.
Poppy,
What?
when you make the treehouse, can you make a seesaw?
I'm gonna make a tree saw. Okay, assume your position, bro. Actually, before you do, let me measure this and mark it.
I'm holding
7
it.
3/4. Don't touch it!
That's what?
I'm just kidding.
I'm holding the tape measure.
Oh, you don't have to do that, but it's got that it's got that little, you see the end of it?
Yep.
You see it? You see it?
Yes.
Yep. That I can hang that over the edge, and it holds it great. It latches on just where I need it to. Yep. That's good. Set on the tape measure. That's exactly. Yep. Do that. No, I'm just kidding. Don't set on the tape measure. All right. You do good work, sir. You ready? So we got our 2.
I just farted on it.
Awesome. All right. You ready?
Yes. So.
I decided on half-lap joints for the corners of the frames for each gate because of the glue surface that they provide, and all that glue surface makes the joint stronger. One thing to be careful about is if you're going to do these on the bandsaw like I did, all this treated lumber is pretty wet, so make sure you take steps to wipe off your blade, whatever blades you use, or they'll rust. And the table surfaces too. One face too before I even start.
Get this out of here.
Oh, careful, buddy. That's why you don't play in the shop, okay?
No, just throwing grass.
I know, but you're playing. You can't play in the shop. There's a very dangerous tool right here. You get your finger in there, it'll cut your finger clean off, okay?
Okay.
And besides the strength it provides, it's also just a really cool looking joint. What are you doing? I need your help, bro. It's time to glue and whatnot.
This thing just landed on my lip.
That's crazy. But right now, we've got a task to do. 7/8 and 3 inches. That's what we'll do. Oh, thanks, little bird. I don't need an empty beer can. I need a full beer can. It doesn't even matter. Oh, thanks, little bird. I'll get a double tape measure now. You just can't be too prepared. I'm gonna glue this thing. Thanks, little girl. It's now better positioned than it was before. Are you ready? You look hot. And I don't mean that in like a attractiveness kind of way. I mean in like a temperature kind of way. You're not about to suffer a heat stroke, are you? Okay. Can you go... Oh, right there, that clamp. Can you get that clamp for me, please? Don't let that glue drip out.
What glue?
The glue in your hand. It's hard to find good help. Thank you, sir. I'm using a clamp here on this one side because I accidentally split the end as I drove a screw home. In every other case, on every other corner, the screws actually are the clamp.
Okay, the next time I see a bug on the part where we glue, I'm going to glue that bug.
I love that idea. It actually is a great idea. That would be amazing. When I was 19 years old, my buddy taught me how to teach flies teamwork. You know what you do?
What?
You catch a bunch of flies, you put them in a jar, and you put them in the fridge. You don't kill the flies, you don't hurt them, you just catch them. And then you put them in the fridge so they get nice and sluggish because it's cold in the fridge, right? And so eventually, after, I don't know, half an hour or so, the flies can't move very well. And so then you take them and you take 2 popsicle sticks. You glue these popsicle sticks like an airplane. Once that glue is dry, you take the flies out of the fridge and you take them and you glue their legs to the popsicle stick. And then when they warm up, the flies start to buzz their wings, right? And they get all crazy because they're trying to get away. And eventually that popsicle stick airplane takes off and flies across the room. It's teamwork.
Wait. Is it just a joke?
No, not really. It sounds like a joke. It can actually be done, and it has been done.
No, about the popsicles taking off.
No, if you have enough flies on there, those popsicle sticks will take off. Perfect. Get it on the concrete. Yep, as much glue as we can get on the concrete as possible.
That's
Swirl it around with your digits.
digits.
Get a lot of glue on there. You can't have too much glue. You can definitely have too little glue. You don't want a glue-starved joint. And this is waterproof glue. So this is glue that's meant to be used in the outdoors. You don't want to use glue on an outdoor, like a gate like this. You don't want to use glue that's meant for indoors. Okay, well, I think that's it for today, buddy. What, do you want to keep going? You do? Really? Do you?
Yes.
Oh, okay, all right. Okay, we can keep going. I thought you were getting tired of it.
No. No.
Okay. You got some freckles. I'm doing the slats now. As I'll explain here in a couple minutes, I would have done this differently. The way I'm doing it now is pretty inefficient, I think, and unnecessary. Lessons learned. My first thought doing this was, man, there's a lot of waste. I'm going to cut a lot of this off. But bear in mind, these are $2 pieces of wood.
It's... I tripped.
Okay, the pencil's over there. The stuff will warp between lows in your house if you're not careful. So if you intend to store it for a minute before you start building with it. Make sure you cover it up. If you're not careful, just on the way home from Lowe's to your house, the sun will make that piece of wood look like a banana. You'll probably notice that I have that first gate up already. I did get footage of putting that first gate up, but I liked the footage of the second gate better, so I'm just going to use that footage to explain exactly what I did for both gates. Please fall, please, please fall, please fall, please. I never get anything I want. It's really helpful right now.
It is. Excuse me. Can you move your knee?
Can you move your wife? Get that. What is this doing here? Get that out of there. Well,
What?
we've got this big gap here, but I don't care. It is what it is. We got imperfect material here. It's not exactly square on the edges. A little bit bent. So we're just gonna
Deal with it.
We're just gonna deal with it, exactly. You've been listening, haven't you? I had to replace some slats because of my own idiocy. I leaned the gate up against the fence here, and then I went to work, and I came home from work, and the gate had fallen down from the wind, I guess, and broken off 2 of the slats. So I went ahead and took the opportunity to replace that slat that I sort of settled for, the one that was all warped from the sun. Some things I would do differently next time, which I didn't do for this one, but I kind of figured out with this one, is I'm used to dealing with wood that I've made sure is absolutely square and 90 degrees, face to edge. But when you buy lumber like this, there's no way you're getting it square. So it's all wet still, and it's just manufactured out of square, and that's just sort of what's expected. So if you're used to working with wood in a fine furniture sort of setting, it's a bit of an adjustment, or at least it was for me. So what I would do differently is I would put a slat down on one end and get it all square get it all even with the edge of the frame. And then before I put any other slats on there, I would do the same with this side. And the reason is, that way you can just kind of put the slats in place without screwing them down and get the spacing right. Look, you can see this spacing is not exact by any stretch of the imagination. And that's okay though. You're dealing with wood that is imperfect to say the least. One of these slats is like $2. So you can imagine the care that was devoted to making sure that it was flat and all that. So I would put one on this edge, and then I would just kind of place these slats before I screwed them down, get the spacing right, and then screw them down. Instead of what I did, which was I meticulously started at that edge, and I used my speed square to make sure that each slat was exactly square to the cross pieces there. The problem is, though, that you find when you get down here, you got one more slat to go, and you've got a gap this big here, and then a gap. There's no gap at all on that side. So if you had compensated for what was eventually going to be a giant gap by spacing it out over the course of all the slats, then the eye would not even notice it. That's what I would do different. Then the other thing I would do different is when installing these posts, I would instead of installing them exactly 90 degrees to the ground, I would compensate a little bit for the weight of the gate by putting them at a slight angle, because these gates, they probably weigh 80 pounds. So when you install the gate, it's going to kind of bring that post back into square. The whole wind knocking over the gate debacle cost me an evening, and so now I'm without my bestest good buddy, Helper, because he's currently on his way to Illinois to spend 2 weeks with his grandparents. Makes me sad, so I got to finish this thing out without him. What I've done here is I've put the left gate here in position, and to hold it here, I've just kind of screwed a temporary scrap piece on there. I need to mount this to see what the weight of the gate is going to do to this post, in order to determine how much needs to come off this side in order to be square to the gate that's already up. So that's what I'm about to do now. I'm going to mount these hinges, I'm going to fully mount this gate, and then I'm going to put the the wheel assist on the bottom there, so I know exactly how that door is going to lay, how the gate's going to lay. I was going to use a come along, but I think that would be overkill. So I'm just going to use a ratchet strap to tie off to that post and pull this post over, which is what needs to happen in order for me to accurately install that hinge, or else there's going to be a giant gap in there permanently, and we don't need that. I hate it when manufacturers put these little Velcro pieces. You know what, I'm just going to cut that off. I never liked it anyway. They do it for convenience, but I don't find it convenient at all. For storage reasons. Get out of here. Well, that did exactly what I hoped it would do. Look at that. It's very rare that something works the first time. Normally I have to go through several iterations. It can be frustrating, but that's part of the process. It's what I have to keep telling myself. Myself doesn't listen very often, and I get road rage. Tighten these up here. They're pretty tight already, but just want to make sure. I'm about to have to modify the bottom hinge because the tail on the part that screws to the post is way too long. You can see on the right gate where I already modified that bottom hinge. All right, now I'm going to go modify this hinge here. We can install it as well. I'm going to suit up, cut this with a cutting wheel, and then I'll sand it on the bench grinder. But first, protective gear. Gloves, headphones or ear protection of some kind, and goggles are a must. I work with these every day for hours a day at the shipyard. I remember there was a time when I didn't take these seriously. You need to take them seriously. If you take them seriously, they're as safe a tool as any other tool in the shop. If you don't, which is the tendency of people that use them occasionally, you will pay the price for it. Now I'm going to install this little gate assist wheel, whatever you call it. What do you call this thing? Gate caster. If you're ever looking for these from Lowe's and you don't know where they are, ask the extremely knowledgeable staff where the gate casters are. And after going through, I don't know, 6 or 7 people, you might actually get a good answer. I want to load this, I want to spring load this caster a little bit before I mark out the holes. I don't want it to be maxed out once it's installed so that there's no lifting action should the driveway lower in elevation. So let's say the driveway slopes down for drainage from this point out. As the gate swings open, I want this wheel to continue to support the weight of the gate. That's why I want to put a little bit of a load on here, or maybe a lot of a load. I'm also hoping that it brings this part of the gate up, because right now it's a bit low compared to the other gate. I closed the newly mounted left gate against the right gate, and then I drew a line where there was overlap, and now I'm trimming off the excess. And then I'm going to remount the gate, and hopefully it closes like it should. I'm getting ready to install the little pole lock that locks one side of the gate so that it doesn't look like a couple of flimsy dog ears flapping in the breeze. I want this thing to close with a with some commitment, you know? So never having done this before, let's see what happens. These are dumb. Why does anybody use Phillips anymore? These are the ones that came with it. I'm going to use something more substantial. I don't understand why we use Phillips, and especially why we use flatheads when we could use Torx or Allens or something of that nature. I'm back. I think what I want to do first is I want to drill the hole in the concrete with the hammer drill that this piece of pipe is going to go in, that's going to receive the, whatever you call this thing, the latch. See, this is pretty tight tolerance here. So whatever angle I achieve with the drill, that's what we're gonna have to go with as far as mounting this to the wooden to the gate. That's what I'm trying to say. So I'm gonna mark this out. I'm just using this bracket to measure off the distance, that how far off the gate this latch has to sit. I'm going to try, when I drill, I'm going to try to keep my angles correct. We'll see. I've never done this before. It's good to finally find some use for the hammer drill other than what I bought it for originally, which was to hammer in grounding rods when I wired the shop, when I ran the service from the house. I didn't relish the idea. I had to hammer 2 grounding rods, and I didn't relish the idea of pounding those things in by hand, especially with this hard ground. So I'm going to do my best. I put a depth indicator with a piece of tape. That's about how deep I want to go to accommodate that pipe. And I'm going to put on my hearing protection, which is somewhere, nowhere to be found. There it is, all nice and baking in the sun. Excellent. Can't wait to put these on my ears. Oh, that feels so good. Oh man, that's awesome. All right, here we go. You know what? We may just not have a pipe there. It says to have a pipe. I think we're going to go without that. I think I know why. I think over time, this thing, as it interacts or contacts the concrete, it probably round that over. I think I'll risk it. The problem is there's like 0 variability for angle. You thought, not today, Isis. You thought I would forget about you too, huh? You got to thread the other one on here too first, or else have fun getting that on there. What are you gonna do? Go like that? Oh, okay, I guess you are. I didn't think that would. All right, fine. That makes things easier. Okay, good. I actually don't like the idea of having to bend over to lift this out of here, this latch. I might have to modify this at some future date, depending on how many times we need to come in and out of here, which I don't anticipate too many times. We don't park our cars here in the driveway, so we park our cars out there in that driveway. Spoiler alert, I'm about to find out the hard way that the wheel assist interferes with that latch. It seems like half of my life is spent overcoming some unforeseen obstacle, but that's the way it goes. If you spend any time trying to build something or fix something, that's just the way things go. Might as well get used to it, I suppose. Let's see if this works right. It does work right. But that interferes with this wheel, though. I think I may have to relocate this wheel. Okay, we're back where we left off there. I relocated the wheel assist I glued and screwed from the other side a block of wood because I had to move this wheel out of the way because the swivel action of the wheel interfered with the latch mechanism, which was not something I saw in advance, obviously. So now the only thing left to do is to install this part, which holds the latch up so you don't have to, so it doesn't drag on the concrete when the door opens. That seems like as good a place as any. Some of this is just trial and error until you get it right, kind of. Before I put the other screw in there, let me just make sure that this works like it's supposed to. And it does. Which is about time. Okay, well, the only thing left to do now is put the gate latch and the handles on. I'm pretty sure that there's going to be no surprises on this one, but just in case, I'm going to screw one screw in initially. Put this backwards. I see that now. No surprises. You're right. This reminds me of the Robot Chicken episode where the Emperor's like, it's trying to portray his day during, in the hours leading up to where he gets cast over the side into the abyss by Darth Vader. And he's like, could this day get any worse? I said it ironically, so I think I'm okay. I just can't say things like that. I can't say that I don't think there are going to be any surprises. That is foolhardy. I should know by now. Okay, well that works. Let's drive these other screws home. Cool. I want to thank you for watching the video, staying with me this whole way. Like I said in the intro, the best part for me on this project was that my son was interested in working with me. I thought that was pretty cool, and I enjoyed the interactions and the banter with him. I hope this helps you in your own endeavors, and I want to encourage you to go and build something awesome.